You understand where local government kind of comes from when we're seeing comments turn nasty and negative toward your fellow citizens, and we do not need that in this community. We do not need slander of your fellow citizens on government pages.
It's all protected speech. The other thing, if I can real quick, on the park tax, okay, and Eric, please go on record today. I hope you'll say what you told me, was that your dad told you this was supposed to come off after Easy Walker Park was paid off after the war. And I've been in 2 meetings over the past 20 plus years, right here in this very room, where that was discussed. The citizens were promised that as soon as we paid off Easy Walker, that the restaurant tax would be removed. Also, yesterday, it was brought to my attention late last night that there's actually a recording of former Mayor Burt Mays talking about this very subject. And you can go on my page because all the full transcript and his words, his voice are all right there right now. So, Eric, please.
Yeah, well, my understanding, again, I was, I believe, 14 or 15 when this happened. That was my understanding, but after talking to a couple of board members that was on the board with my father, it was a discussion, and that's as far as it went. And the reason that this elderly man told me that he believed it didn't go any further is put into I guess, fruitation or into documentation was exactly what we're dealing with today. He told me that they talked about putting the, was it sunshine? Sunset clause in, but then they worried about just what we're having today. You know, our parks, the infrastructure is struggling right now. And that, what this gentleman told me, again, I admit I was wrong. There was discussion, but it wasn't put in due to, they was worried about 20 years, 30 years down the road, where we're at right now, that they wouldn't have the money to maintain the parks and facilities that they in place back in 1990, and that's where we're at. And I talked to him at length, and he was one that really pushed for not putting it in because he was worried about his kids and grandkids down the road if they would have enough money without the tax base to continue to add programs or maintain what we have now. And I got a question, and again, I'm probably the dumbest guy in the room. But what you just said a few minutes ago about the property taxes off of these properties, these vacant lots, using that property tax money to support Parks and Rec. But you're also saying there's not going to be a property tax, so how would that even help down the road if you're going to abolish the property tax? How would this $117,000 help us at all?
Great question. So the property tax, what we're looking at doing is moving the property tax, the tax off of property and collecting it at the register as a sales tax. This is already being proposed in other states. It's very, most people they appreciate that. Consumption-based tax. What we're talking about here, this is consumption-based tax. So the way that would be handled is it would be any revenue that local government receives, there would be no reduction whatsoever to that funding. So that would be, they would still be guaranteed to that level of funding at that point in time. There's no cuts to local government, no cuts to service under that plan. It would just simply change the sales tax from 6% to 9%. 10% if we want to do away with all the sales tax when you purchase automobile, watercraft, aircraft, and RVs. Also, there would be no annual tax on those items either. So we could go to a 10% state sales tax, do away with all that, plus all the personal tangible property taxes that our businesses have to pay. A lot of people don't know this, but businesses are taxed on unsold inventory. We had a factory owner in town reach out to me. He said, Shannon, the government came in, they counted every roll of toilet paper in my employees' restrooms, and they taxed me on it. Do you think that's right? I said, no, that's not right. Actually, I had another word to preface that, but it's not right. Other business owners, you know, when I started out as a young entrepreneur, I bought a computer and I had to go get a loan. My first loan was right here in town at Whitaker Bank. It was for a computer. And that computer showed up on a schedule in my tax forms, and I got a bill for it. An annual tax for my computer, and then for my chair and my desk where I sit and made websites as a kid. I had to pay an annual tax on these items in my business. So all that tax will be replaced under the plan that I'm going to be proposing this session. As far as why we got looked over, I'm told we didn't get looked over. I've had meetings with Mr. Hale. Everybody's more than welcome to travel to our capital like I do as a private citizen to have these meetings and be engaged. I would encourage our local officials to travel to Frankfurt at least once or twice a year and have that sit-down meeting and have some bullet items and leave a copy and maybe share it online for transparency and accountability. I think that'd be a great idea. Should our state representative be at these meetings? I think that he should stop in every now and then, absolutely. I don't think that he has enough time to be at every meeting. And I'm not taking up for anyone in particular, but I just know how busy those guys are. There's a whole lot of stuff they do for about $35,000, $40,000 a year. It's a tremendous amount of work. I don't know why anybody would want to do it. But somebody has to do it. And it's just, so I'm not sure that we were overlooked. I believe that Mr. Hale fought for us just like he fought for the other counties. When I go to those counties, I hear similar stories. They feel like that we're getting all the money and that Menifee and Bath are being overlooked. I don't know. The truth's probably somewhere in the middle. But I think we all want nice things here. I think we all want beautiful parks. I was told it's a $16 million aquatic center, and there's a 3D printed model in Chris Haddock's office right now. I hope that's not true. I hope it's not a $16 million aquatic center or any type of center for $16 million. $5 million scares the daylights out of me. We're not there yet as a community. We're a small town. We have a small town festival, but we're a small town. We're a tiny town compared to a lot of towns. Are we going to be bigger? Absolutely. Are we going to have nicer parks in the future? Yes, we will. But we're just not there yet. In my opinion, and in the opinion of the public, the members I talk to, I'm knocking every door. So I'm going to knock 9,000 doors in my district. I'm very serious about what I'm running for, and it's because, conversations like this, and thank you, Mayor, for having this meeting at 9 a.m. Thank you for having a meeting at 5:30, because people will use it against you. We've seen it over the years. Well, will they plan it in the middle of the workday? Or they plan it this time? So thank you for doing 2 meetings, and hopefully you have another meeting, maybe on a Saturday afternoon or something. Or just nobody can have that reason not to be here and participate in the dialogue. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes.
Has anybody asked any of these towns that only charge 1% restaurant tax, what they measure as their reason for only charging 1% and whether that's been successful for them?
Well, every town makes their own decisions based on what they feel is in their best interest.
Right.
So some of those, I've not reached out to.
That successful?
Some of these towns don't have but a couple of restaurants, so it may make a difference in what, the decisions they're making. Camargo and Jeffersonville could impose a restaurant tax if they wanted to. They just haven't. They haven't made that decision.
Have we asked them if that's been successful?
I can speak upon behalf of Phil. It's Phil Gross, our director. And he talked to me yesterday that he has reached out, and a lot of those that are less than 3% are subsidized by the city and county government, the fiscal court and the city council. So what it would go to is they get part of their funding from the restaurant tax, the 1%. The rest of it comes from property taxes and occupational taxes from the city and county government.
I think
So
Bardstown
you're
was
saying
one.
they're subsidizing the restaurants?
Yes.
They're subsidizing their recreation and tourism through their city budgets, is what he's saying.
Yeah, it comes
So
off.
Bardstown's is an example, I believe. They're 1%. They collect 1%, and then the city is also collecting money. That 1% plus what the city has, they give to recreation.
But their population is almost double ours.
Every community makes the decisions that they feel are in the best interest, ma'am.
But you're asking us to pay 3% at half that population, and they're getting by with 1%, so how?
Yeah, but they're getting subsidized by your tax dollars in other directions. You're getting off your.
Those
property taxes,
13,000 people
taxes.
are paying, those 13,000 people are paying property taxes to help fund what's going on in their communities.
Which, based on what Shannon said, if we just do a blanket consumer's tax, it makes a lot more sense than just charging restaurant goers.
Restaurant tax is a consumption tax, so.
Yeah.
And I believe, again, what we're looking at, and again, I was totally against, this tax. I'm not saying I'm 100% for it now, but I do see as a board member where money's going now, what we're doing now, the programs we're adding. And I think the point of the restaurant tax, and again, I'm not educated, I'm just speaking from my heart. I think the point of the restaurant tax is to get more tax dollars from out-of-county visitors than the city of Montgomery, or Mount Sterling and Montgomery County having to foot the whole tax bill. That's just my understanding.
Can I get a quick closing, 30 seconds?
Absolutely.
Because I know Robin and I had to say a lot. What really makes me happy is the new board members that we have on Park and Rec. These guys are sharp. It gives me the confidence that it's going to be managed well and properly, because in my opinion, being a former board member, it wasn't. So I appreciate the changes that were made with the new board members. I have very well confidence in the new director. I feel bad for Tracy because it's like if Tracy has 2 children and you're giving one child a $20 allowance every week, just the next day to take $19 of that allowance and give to the other child. That's what's happening with you. The money that we're collecting is going to tourism, but most of it's allocated to Park and Rec. Me as a personally being a board member and also a citizen, knowing your capabilities and your board, I hope that your revenue income at least doubles and there's more of a fair percent that goes to tourism, because I really think there's a need for that. And, moving forward, whether it goes out or not, I think that will impact our community tremendously.
Thank you. Sabrina,
I
yes.
got one quick question.
That's fine, absolutely.
It's been brought to my attention that we received a slush fund from Rumpke in $1 million plus. Do our recreation, tourism, all that, do they get any of that? Or where does that money go to?
Well, so the city receives no money from Rumpke, so that's county, yeah, you're talking about the county.
But it's our county,
Well, the judge needs to answer how he allocates that revenue.
but
I can't.
do you all get any of that?
No,
No.
I mean, not that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, where your money comes from, the county's very kind to you.
The
and gives,
county.
how much last year?
$10,000 a year.
But where that originated from, I can't tell if the judge got it from landfill or from property taxes or from occupational. The judge needs to say where he gave them $10,000.
As far as the Parks and Rec Board, if we have a special project, we have got money from the fiscal court and the city before on special projects.
This year, the fiscal court, is it 37, 38? How much, is it 50? The fiscal court is making a donation to help Parks and Rec out on the lights.
Okay.
So they're trying to,
We live in the county, and we don't
Yeah.
live in the city, but we enjoy everything. And it's like, you all should, it's the county, even though it's inside the city, you all should benefit as well. That's all I'm saying.
And we appreciate the $10,000 a year that the county allocates toward tourism, because we do advertise. The city has most of the things to advertise, obviously. It's where all the attractions mostly. But we do put Mount Sterling, Montgomery County on everything.
Yes.
So, but the 10,000, that's very appreciated. I appreciate it. And that has just happened in the last 3 years. So before that, we didn't get any.
Okay.
So.
okay, good question. Anything else from anyone? All very productive conversations. I appreciate everybody's input, and we'll record this. Like I said, this will be on the website for you to be able to view later. And then we have another public forum scheduled for 5:30 this evening. You're welcome back. If you are planning on coming back, just know that the first 20 minutes will be the mayor kind of laying out facts, and then, so if you have to be late, you won't miss anything. We'll open it back up and allow everybody to speak. So, thank you very much for being here today.